We got these two guys. We want to speed match them to each other. And these guys got to go to the big two-line layout. And what we want is so that when they're consisted, they can work together. Both these are sound-equipped locomotives. Let's see, one of them's got an Econami PNP, and the other one's got a Tsunami 2. I can't remember which is which. I wrote it on the pad, though. I've already done the initial, where I wrote it right on the yellow pad and write down the characteristics. But let's just see how they are before we make any adjustments. So I've got them up here on Engine Driver. I've got each locomotive selected separate. And as you know, in slot 1 and 2, there's sound. So you're hearing sound from the pad. But both of these locomotives are sound locomotives. And we're going to run them up, let's run up to like 11 or 12. They're also, okay, so they're on 1 and 2 individually, and then they're on number 4, or they're on 2 and 3, and number 4 is they're consisted. So let's run them as a consist down the track and see what happens. Oh, not that way. Hold up. Not backwards. Go forwards. Okay, now. The C636 starts up when it moves, and then after a little bit, it'll shut off. Let's go ahead, send it down track. There is speed step 21. As you can see, for good reason, the 636 is way faster. Now let's bring them back but turn them up faster. Turn them up to 60. And here comes that SD40 really fast. We'll bring that guy back. Alright, so that's our starting point. We know that I already know that this guy here, his speed table, his first speed step is like, I think it's 78. He's really high. And this guy is, I think, 4. He's really low. So what we're going to do is, we're going to make an adjustment now. And we're going to bring this guy's speed up first. We'll bring him up. And we're going to put him on the workbench. So we're back to the workbench. Here, I'm starting up. He's going to go over to the workbench where he can get programmed. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make an adjustment. I'm going to raise his minimum. And I'll probably match whatever their top is. I don't remember what motors each one of them has, but you've seen the rebuilds on these, so you guys probably know better than I do. And that's where we'll start. Alright, I'm going to show you guys something. Here's the thing. I've recorded on here, as you can see. The speed table on this C636 is 78 to 248. I've adjusted this one time here on this SD40. It's now 24 to 185. Okay? Keep that in mind. That's the speed table. They don't match. Obviously, they don't match in their speed tables, and they don't match when we're out here. So let's go ahead. Now these are 2 sound guys too. So let's go ahead and let's try them down the track a little bit, and let's run them up to 38. Look at that SD40 take off. Oh crap! Then what happens is the C636 ends up passing him. Okay, and then they've gone too far. Let's bring him back. Take him up to 69. Oh my goodness. That SD40 is coming back here way too fast. He's going to be at the finish line, and C630, we'll bring him back. Alright, way too fast. Okay, so here's what we got. These guys. Alright, so it should be apparent that they don't match speed, right? Or do they? They don't have to match speed at a single point or multiple points or whatever. I think we got the wrong impression of speed, especially since we're dealing with two sound decoders. Let's try this again. Let's bring them up to 16. Okay, the 636 takes off, then we go up 30 something. Okay, then we get up to about 2/3, and they're running about neck and neck. At about 2/3 speed, they're running neck and neck. Let's think about that for a moment. At about 2/3, they're running neck and neck. But the SD40 still starts faster. That's fine. When I drop them down to 16, look, the SD40 is going slow, and the 636 is catching up. In fact, they're going to make bridge 6. Boom, bridge 6. The 636 passed by 1 inch. Okay, so the 636 has a tsunami tube, and the SD40 has got an economy PMP. And even on the controller here, I have a little bit of trouble because of the sound. Because they got sound and stuff. Sometimes I will have stopped the consist, but the speed sliders on the locomotives are still up. But right now, I kind of like what I'm seeing. Here's what I'm going to do. I suspect we are at where we want to be. I know that these two, as a consist, have to pull a very heavy train. But I think they are close enough that, one, the SD40 is going to, with its faster start, is going to pull the C636 during the startup, which is good, because being these are dry wheels, not octart coated, that SD40 is going to pull that C636 during the startup and get them going. And as you saw, what do they get? They get somewhere in the 1/5 range, and they're neck and neck, or in the 2/3 range, they're neck and neck. Now think about, on the layout that these run on, there's a digital control you have in your hand with a knob on it, and most guys are going to run it at 50 to 2/3 power, especially if they're going to go up that helix with a really heavy train. So I'm going to set up a heavy train, and we're going to try these two guys together as a consist. All right, here they are, as I anticipate they will appear on the Sioux line layout. All right, so that's Sioux line layout. I'm guessing that the Sioux line SD40 is going to be first, and the C636 is going to be second. Now, on our chart, of course, we have, this is what we got. Speed table. As you can see, the C636 is 78 to 248. That's pretty dang high. And the other one is 24 to 185. And we have tested them up and down the track a lot, and we found that they match in a range from like 1/3 to 2/3. They're about the same, but then the SD40 is faster at the low end because it kicks off right away while the other one's starting up. And at the high end, I think, I can't remember, one of them was faster, one was slower, but it doesn't matter. We're thinking about this the wrong way. We have to think about what job these guys are going to do. That's why we're speed matching them, sort of, so that they at least are not going to fight each other. So let's try them just like this. Okay, run an elephant style. Okay, we're going to try them just like this. We're going to run them 6, speed step 6. Okay, the 636 is starting up, and the SD40 is kind of pulling fast. A little bit of slipping you can hear. Then they get moving. Now we're at 40. They're doing good. Let's bring them on back. We'll bring him back at about 51. I don't hear slipping. There, I hear slipping when we did the shutdown because one has decel and one doesn't. The SD40's got some deceleration and the C636 doesn't. Now, that being said, do they have to match perfect? Well, considering what I'm pretty sure they're going to do is pull heavy trains up a helix, I think we ought to test them with a really, really heavy train. And there is no train heavier than right there. Pug's scrapping train plus those scrapping gondolas that are just loaded up with lead. And if you're not familiar with these guys, let's go up. Okay. They are full of lead weight. Big old sticks of lead weight. All of them. And this train is ridiculously heavy. And we have done some tests with the dynamometer. Did we not learn anything from doing power tests with the dynamometer? One of the things we did learn is you don't speed match exactly. If you do, then you're never sure if you're pulling right. But if you're going to pull something super heavy, then let's find out. So that I'm at speed step 5, right? And the 40 is pushing that 636 while he starts up. Now they're connected to Pug scrapping train. And as you know, this thing is super, super heavy. There are few, I don't even know. Did Ajax pull this by himself? He might have. But other than that, they made locomotives that can pull this. Just pull Pug scrapping train alone takes some pretty good power. All right, so now we got these guys connected. Can they pull it? Uh-oh, sounds like a bell to me. Wait. There's a bell. 2 bells. Okay, that's enough. All right, enough of that. Can they pull it? We're up to speed step 5. All right, so the 636 is revving up before he takes off. But look at this. What's happening? Do you hear slipping? I don't hear any slipping. We're now at speed step 30. These guys handle Pug scrapping train. Hold up. Is that the best we can do? No. We got 2 other ridiculously heavy guys that we can tack on to the end here. See if we can make it even heavier. I mean, let's make it harder. We're going to throw everything we got at it. And you guys know of all the different power tests we do on these guys. When we put all of these super heavy guys on at one time, it's really hard to pull. And no single locomotive, I don't know, unless Ajax did this. I don't know of anybody that's pulled this whole thing. Hercules, he don't have any couplers, so he can't pull it. Let's go. 7. Speed step 8. Okay, speed step 8. Look at that. Now, if these 2 guys were side by side on the track, at speed step 8, one of them would be taking off and going way faster and farther. That's great. They can pull them. Pretty good. Can they back them up? I don't know. What do you think? Can we back them up? Can this train even be backed up? Ooh, we're at speed step 13. This is speed matching. let's not fret over making them exactly matching each other on a racetrack side by side. Let's match them to the job. And I know these guys have to have a very, very heavy-duty job they got to do. Let's match them to the job. Because we know that in a certain range, they're identical. And over and under, we don't worry about it. Because guys are going to take that controller with the dial, and they're usually going to go, somewhere around 50%, 2/3, 3/4, whatnot. Listen to those guys work. Listen to them work. Right? Here we go. Now we're going to go forward. We got a train that is far heavier than any train. You could have 50 cars on here and it still won't weigh what the scrapping train weighs. As you guys already know, since we weighed these guys one time. Let's take out. Okay, speed step 4. The SD40 takes off and pulls that C636 into startup, and he jumps up. We get up there to speed step 21 out of 128, and away they go. And they go faster, and I don't hear any wheel slipping. I hear nothing for wheel slipping. Even on the reverse, we push them back. If they were way off in speed, we would hear wheel slipping. But because the job is so heavy, they help each other out. So here's our conclusion. We got them to match in a range, which is good. At the top end and the bottom end, they're different. But when pulling a heavy train, they help each other out. That C636 has some weight to it. It does really well with heavy trains. And the SD40 does really well with the jump off. Gets a jump off and pulls that C636 into action. I say we're going to call it. This is a good one for speed matching. Now, we're not done with all of our speed matching stuff. But this pair has proven that they're going to be excellent as a consist. They're going to be able to do the job. They are not going to fight each other. We've done forwards and backwards 2 times now, and I've tried it more than that. They're looking good. This thing is going to be great. This pair is going to be an awesome pair. And we got it into a range. That's our going to be our benchmark, is get them in a range where they match, and then we can work on tweaking it a little bit. All right, so we're going to call this one until we do the next one.